Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from somewhere in this world. We're back to continue our playthrough of Empire Total War featuring Darthmod and the 40 unit saves version. And we are here as the Poland-Lithuanian Commonwealth about to attack the Ottoman Empire in Athens to try and take over the Greek territory. So we are outnumbered. We have more individual units than they do, but they have some larger units than us. However, it does not necessarily mean that they outclass us, and that's what we're going to count on. Our fire by rank and our one extra piece of artillery to help us out. Now their accuracy, they have the demi-cannons 900 range, 40 accuracy versus our 800 range, 40 accuracy. So they do, if they're able to put that to good use, outrange our artillery. But without any further ado, why don't we get down there and get this battle going. We'll see you down on the battlefield. Okay, let's see where they are deploying. So they're actually deploying more off to the side. Well, I guess they have the option to deploy a little bit in the city, but it's mostly off to the side. There's lots of hills that are potentially able to block line of sights. Like they could deploy behind that hill in the distance, but if they want to get anywhere near us, they're going to have to come out from behind the hill. So I'm going to figure out where exactly I want to position my artillery to hopefully be in an advantageous position. So we'll be right back once that's done. Okay, this is the way I've chosen to set up on this one. A little different than normal. Definitely not a straight line as we have a nice big bend in it. But over on one flank, we'll see one regiment of artillery way up here on the hill, giving a commanding view of the deployment zone or potential deployment zone. We do have ZigZag's finest over here because it's a kind of open flank here if they end up coming over this way. All we've really got is my grenadiers and the cavalry to help out. Obviously we would adjust as best as possible, but we're a little exposed over here potentially. Then we move down the line, standard infantry, not a lot of support though. You'll notice we have another line of foot as reserves here, the general's bodyguard here, and the other regiment of grenadiers over on this side. Thinking that potentially they set up close and may move on this way. We will see. We will see. Otherwise, just the line infantry with a bend in it between on a slight rise here, this artillery, and then over on the other wing that gives us a fairly commanding view of their potential setup zone. So artillery spread out just because I'm nervous about getting rushed, and we also have our war band hidden in the trees here in case they come over on this side to also hassle and hopefully disrupt a little bit, slow them down in their advance if they do end up coming on this wing. So that's how we're going to do it. So it's just a matter now, is our setup okay? Do we have the potential if they rush in one particular spot to get overwhelmed? Who knows? Let's find out. Oh, and they're very, very far back. The good news is their artillery is limited in its range of fire, so they can only pretty much fire ahead. So half of our line will be protected. Right off the bat, we're going to get our general out of here because he does not need to be bombarded. If we get him off to the side, they won't be able to hit him. And I think we'll just go ahead and move ZigZag's finest officially to the flank. And let's see how we want to advance in this situation. I'm kind of thinking, well, they're advancing on us right now. And it looks like they are going to be advancing over to this side. So that's going to be interesting how that plays out. What we will do is move our reserves a little bit farther down the line a little bit to help support. We're going to bring our cavalry so we can support this line if that's where they attack over here. And should they keep their artillery exposed in this process of advancing on us. We'll bring this cavalry over here to hopefully be able to rush on in. Right now they are not. Actually, they're starting to change that focus a little bit. Maybe they're going to come over where I was a little worried that they might come over onto this flank. But if they're going to split up, then I'm not super concerned. I think what we'll do, since their artillery is heavily protected, we'll start bombarding the advancing troops as opposed to going for their artillery. And having the cavalry come out at this point now with actual lines advancing towards us may not be wise, so why don't we set them up back here so they don't draw too much attention. I still like the idea of our skirmishers here. We'll have them have the ability to skirmish and retreat in the advance here. And then what we'll do with our artillery on this side is we will hamper their advance right here. I'm still thinking, even though it's a bit muddled here, I might be able to move some cavalry. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to take all my cavalry. I'm going to take one regiment. I have regiment to horse, both regiment to horse at full strength. I'm just going to take one. Literally way out here. Try and be unnoticed. So as their armies advance, we may have an opportunity of our own against their artillery. They do have some units in reserve to help support here, but right now it would give us the feeling that nobody will be all that close to respond to a cavalry charge. So we are able to pepper and bombard. In fact, we have units coming out against our own cavalry. Let's just charge in. And we'll make sure we are bombarding appropriately on the advancing units. And we're going to back off the cavalry on this side, since they seem to be driven off to a degree. As a matter of fact, let's keep our units on the side close to this expat infantry. They seem to be able to support us and protect us a bit. We got our cavalry way in the distance. We're going to start bringing them in now. The coast seems clear. We're hampering the advance of the Janissaries, although they are coming on fast. Let's hope we can deal with them. Well, I am in skirmish mode, so we better start backing off. There we go. You kind of get a nice vision of the whole line here, and it definitely tells me let's bring in the cavalry and see if we can't avoid those cavalry defenses. So the Janissaries are still advancing. I think we'll pick a different unit to bombard at range. And they are unable to advance against our fire by rank. So I'm feeling comfortable there as we bring down our cavalry over here where they cannot be pivoted. Our artillery cannot pivot to take them on, so they're going to be able to advance without any problem here. And once they clear these anti-cavalry barriers, we're going to charge them right in. Take out the one advantage they have over us. And we got other anti-cavalry barriers. It's very, very tricky the way they're placed, so we're gonna have to be very careful. Kind of bring them back a little bit away from there to try and keep too many from being taken out. But we have all their artillery units wavering right now, and they're coming against us. But let's see if we can't take them out in the process. We have them shattered. They're holding steady. We're going to lose some cavalry units in the barriers here, unfortunately. They can't jump over the spikes. And we're gaining fire from them. We have them broken, but they could potentially recover. But given the withering fire we're taking, our losses aren't hideous yet. I would like to ultimately run them down. We managed to just skirt the barriers. That's a tricky... Oh no, there's more barriers! We're losing more cavalry. We're just going to do a last-ditch effort here and then pull back, because there's... Now, I take that back. We're retreating. I don't know what was going on in my mind. And let's go take a look at the rest of the line, which is held solid. Held up solidly. We're going to start running down these units here, although we are technically in a city battle here, so I don't have to. We're only going to run down for the purposes of not having them return to battle. And we've got everybody retreating except for this unit here, which is firing at our Albanian warband. So let's pound them. That ought to thin them out. And then what we have left to maneuver against are these couple units or a few units back in the walls over here. They are regrouping, so I think it's time to get the artillery going back here and complete the withdrawal of our cavalry unit that took out their artillery. And they're returning to their cannons, by the way. We're going to run down with this cavalry unit, this broken unit, so it does not return. Yeah, we're going to take ZigZag's finest over here and have the grenadiers do some advancing now that they've been weakened. This artillery will come over here. And this artillery will start bombarding in the distance. Let's make sure these broken units, the armed populace, do not return. And they are shattered. Okay, we're going to take our remnant units now, get them positioned in the rear back here to rear charge the enemy behind the walls. We've driven them off essentially with our, primarily with our artillery units. We've shattered over here, I believe. Yep, so we're gonna get the old rear charge on these guys in the wall position here and rout them out. And bring all our cavalry to the rear for doing that. It'll be quicker than bringing forward and marching forward all our infantry, and we'll try doing it that way. We pretty much have them broken left and right, so it's wrap up. Once these last few attacking forces that regroup, they will not last under our fire by rank, so it's really a matter of routing out. And how convenient that we'll have to come in at an angle on both sides to avoid the barriers to our cavalry. And we're just about in position over here, and we'll kind of hammer in on both sides. Hopefully the attack on this side will not get bogged down by these guys, so maybe we'll have to hold off a little bit until they retreat past us. And they have one very stubborn unit up here. We're going to redirect some artillery fire towards them to help their quick demise. Now it's time to have some cavalry enjoy themselves. The enemy general has fallen, so they will not last long. They're already repositioning, seeing the charges coming towards them from both sides. They turn to face one, get attacked on the other hand by the other, and they won't last long. It's a large unit, 500 individuals, so they can put up a little melee. But with all four of our units coming in, I think we match up. Oof, we are damaged, and we may not hold up. Look at this. Oh, these two units really took it in the chin. And they're shaken, they're winded. But the longer we're in melee, well, we're not losing horrifically as far as numbers go. So we'll continue the melee just a little bit longer. All their other units are retreating. And ZigZag's finest, alone in the field, their strength not so much needed. We have them wavering at last. Our numbers are still holding up, but starting to fall now, so we're gonna have to keep, and then we broke them. So this should be it. This should be the final blow that takes them out. There we go. We're gonna end this battle being a city battle. There we go. We got a nice victory and conquering Athens, taking over Greece. Now the big thing is, what is the public order? Oh, the public order is not going to end up being hideous, so that's pretty good. The region has been captured. What that does is it gives us yet another trading port and access to another trading port. Let's see about first building up. Well, our funds are pretty good. So a school of poetry we can fix. The mansion we can fix. In fact, we'll fix it all at this point, because we can. Now let's take a look at our army and seeing the replenishment that we need. And we can afford full replenishment, at least once it finishes. So there we go. We've kicked the Ottoman Empire off the territories we wanted to kick them off of. What we'll attempt is see if they're willing for peace. If not, well, obviously if not, the battle against the Ottomans will continue. But we're going to see if they're ready for a little peace after the whooping we have just shown them. We're going to request peace. Let's just see how it is straight up. And he's not happy at all. So let's just go in there one more time, see if they'll do something for a little enticement. Obviously I'm not going to give away the farm. And yeah, I have no farming technologies to give them right now, so so we won't be giving away the farm, will we? We could give them, I don't even really want to give them any of those military things, so why don't we'll help them out, and maybe with some physiocracy allow them to grow their farms and plantations potentially. See if that entices them for peace. If not, I'm not gonna go overboard. All right, a peace treaty has been signed between this nation and your own. It remains to be seen whether the truce will result in lasting peace or descend back into conflict. We will find out, but it has freed up our Austrian port. So I'm thinking trade-wise now, we should have a big chunk of our trade. In fact, Great Britain and France are no longer blockaded against us, so all our trade opportunities are now back. And our total income from trade is humongous. What does that do for our overall expected income? Holy smokes, look at that. So we have the income we've been looking for a while now, and that allows us and gives us the option to pick and choose where we need to turn our attentions next. And I'm thinking the way I'd like to approach it, at least this is the way I'm thinking, is I would like to turn my attentions towards Sweden first. Since they're at war with Russia, if we're helping in the attack with Sweden, I think that lowers the odds that they would then attack us. And then after we take care of Sweden, mind you, counting, or that's as long as nobody else changes the grand picture, we would then be able to focus eastward, and that's a long ways east against all the Russian territories here, but we'll see if we can handle that. So I'm thinking I want to turn north at this point and see what we can accomplish against the Swedish Empire. That's my overall plan. Do you guys have any other different ideas? Let me know. What I'm also thinking, kind of thinking if they were going to move against us, land-wise, I'm not feeling super concerned. I'm almost thinking we can afford to take this army out of Berlin. And let's take a look. Ooh, we aren't quite ready to move all the way out of Berlin yet, huh? They still have, look at all that resistance to foreign occupation that still remains there. That's just crazy. That's absolutely crazy to me. Plus, with the fall of Protestantism and the rise of Catholicism, that's going to increase the unrest there. We will have to accomplish what we need to accomplish in the north without this army right now. Interesting. Well, we don't have many more funds to spend. We'll kind of focus, at least for the last little bit that we have, on some farms. In fact, the farm. I don't know why I said farms plural. The farm has been upgraded. The one and only has been upgraded. So we may have to stick around here for a tiny bit in Greece. But what this does allow us to do is next turn, maybe in the process of relocating, I can spend a little extra effort on some naval growth and see if we can start growing our navy to some levels that allow us to have some adventures at sea, or at least give us the option, especially in the north here on the Baltic Sea, to moving an army across the Baltic Sea to attack the Swedes. I'm thinking initially, though, we're going to move north via Courland. Now we are not a protectorate anymore because we did not come to their aid, is what I'm thinking. In fact, they're very unfriendly with us, probably because we broke an alliance. -30. Yep. So, and plus they don't like our territorial expansion. But we're no longer friends, so we may have to, unfortunately, take out our former protectorate of Courland on the way. And right now, as far as any allies, they have none. In fact, they're still technically at war with Great Britain. So let's get our rake moving. We have a couple rakes to get moving over. One to Russia. And I've decided the other we want to head over towards France via the northern Italy route. And let's just take a look at any potential trade opportunities. The Ottoman Empire could potentially be a trade partner once again. Let's see if we can make that happen. If we pay them 150, which is actually not much at all, so we'll do it. And let's see if Spain is open to some negotiations anymore. Now, little to command, and I'm not going to pay them at this point. I feel Spain is... I get the fickle vibe from Spain. I don't want to spend money for trade with them. Alright, I think that's it for this turn. We'll let things here and there solidify down in the Balkans and down in Greece and, you know, all this area down here. And see what settles down as we turn our attentions north. So we'll see you on the other side. And Louis is back. Louis the 15th is back for another try at the military alliance. I will say, he's persistent. That's not necessarily a bad quality, but we will still decline. Alright, a trade agreement has been canceled with Great Britain, unfortunately. That's sad to hear, so I'm glad we picked up some other trade partners in the meantime. Actually, it's been canceled, it says, so I'm wondering, we'll have to take a look at their port situation, see if it was canceled for a reason or not. Workers are on strike down in the Istanbul region, so we're going to have to definitely keep an eye down here to get things in order. And one thing we definitely did not do is upgrade the buildings down here, and we're going to take care of that right now. That'll go a long way towards helping out the public order down here, getting rid of any desolation and damage in this territory. So it's going to delay a slight bit our move to the north while we solidify things down here. It's going to, yeah, they're going to have high resistance to occupation. So we're definitely going to have to keep a force down here. But while we're here, one thing I'm going to do is we're going to burn down those walls. What I could see about doing is, this is what I'm thinking at the moment. Let's temporarily bring this army out. Temporarily bring this army in. We have a lot of replenishing. That's one thing I overlooked last turn, is we did not replenish these armies after the battle. Okay, they were mostly replenished. This one is not. And that was a pretty penny to get them replenished. What I will do now, though, is let's take a look at this army and just make it a full force. As far as cavalry, what are we looking at? 1, 2, 3, 4. So if there's a couple units of cavalry I can add in, we're going to do that. I want one more cavalry here. We're going to bring them in. And I guess the rest... we just need some line infantry, and we can afford to take on 12 more units to bring this to a full stack army. And we're going to do it initially here, get this to a full army. Alright, there are the 12 units. And we now have a full army in Istanbul. Is it enough for public order? Not quite, but by the time the buildings are repaired, I think we'll be okay. Final and famous last words. We gained a trait from somebody, military technology, so I'm assuming we may have finished a technology. Construction report, not a bad one. There's our technology advances, so we'll take a look at military and naval and see how we want to address those. So military tech, we finished, I think we were working on the socket bayonet, so we need to have a military academy constructed, and constructed fast. So let's head up to our capital. And we'll start with the first bit of construction for it there. Military Academy. Oh, it's under construction. One more turn, so we'll be in good shape there. We'll just keep... well, let's see where they may have changed to. No, I think I only had the one left over here anyway. So we'll keep it on wedge formation, and it'll be... Then we'll just finish... Once we finish wedge formation, we should be able to move back up here because the military academy will have been constructed. So let's get back down here. What was the other... There's something else that finished... Oh, it's one of our naval things, but has this college finished? Not quite. And how much longer before the college is finished? Probably just one more turn. Yes. So that means that probably by the time copper bottoms are completed, we'll be able to go back over here to the philosophy chain of research. So that actually all works out just fine. Somebody died of natural causes, one of our gentlemen. So let's go find out where we're missing a gentleman, just so I'm aware. Or actually, did all our schools didn't have a gentleman anyway, did they? Now I can't remember. Yeah, the one that was in Krakow that was working on the punch card loom, he passed away. He had some industry buffs that made him helpful. That's why all of a sudden we're back to 7 days research time here. So we need another, or we could use another gentleman there or in Magdeburg. Those are the two we have requiring, or could ideally use a gentleman. We have another new town that's emerged over down where we just conquered. So how about that? We have a port that can upgrade. We're going to upgrade our trading port. We're going to go for a church school here. And let's just see if I have any other church school of the wrong variety now that I've taken over this area that needs to be changed, and it does not appear so. So we're going to build a church school to help the religious conversion that we desperately need down here, and start with that. And Blackbeard is finally killed. We'll scroll through that for anybody who wants to pause and read a little history. And I guess that means we're going to keep this army, single army here as it replenishes. We're going to move this army over, however, to see if we can help replenish our forces over here near Greece. So I actually we'll see about combining forces here. And this does not have a general or anything, no. So we can easily combine. So we're going to head down towards Greece to join forces down here. And we have everything repaired down here now. Yeah, so we actually will be able to move out of Greece. I'll give it one more turn just to make sure. But things are already improving tremendously in Greece as far as public order. It's not like a major territory where the resistance to occupation is horrendous. And we'll just see if there's any buildings here that I could help build that could help happiness. And it would appear this may, well, it says +2 happiness, so it's no real change from what was already there. But since we're short on gentlemen, let's upgrade that now anyway. And let's do the government chambers, because that will help, I think, going from +2 repression. Yeah, so that will help public order here also. So I'm going to spend the funds for that upgrade in Athens. That leaves a little bit of funds. We're going to do some farmhouse upgrades as far as this turn is concerned to spend our funds. We don't need to do any more recruiting. We don't need to do any more. 1,200 is all that's left. That should be enough for a farm somewhere. Or a coaching inn. Here's a farm. And that's our spending for this turn. Diplomatic relations wise, we have Great Britain, which says it's friendly. Let's take a peek over there and try and figure out why, if they're still friendly. And I don't know why they would have just stopped trading, because that's a commercial port that does not seem to be blockaded. They just out and out stopped trading with us. So we're gonna see just a straight up if and we got the trade back with Great Britain. As easy as that without having to pay anything. So we'll see. I think we lose by doing that. If you look at trade relations. Unfortunately, I think with Great Britain, where are they down here? Yeah, we lose the extra money for having that trade agreement over time. But dollar-wise, that's a good one for us to have overall. Because the longer you maintain a trade agreement, the more bonuses you get to that little bit of trade. We're going to take a look at our rakes that are out there and continue their movement to their new posts that we're sending them to. There we go. Let's see if we can find out where the heck. There's Moscow way in the distance. Let's head out to Moscow. And we can see those forces that have been sitting in our territory for forever. I have seen a random full stack here and there moving around in behind the Russian lines. Why they don't focus and move north against Sweden is beyond me. But we're going to do them a favor, I guess, because it's not beyond us. As far as Serbia and Belgrade, let's see what we're looking at here. We might be able to move out. Let's just move the army out and see the reaction. Yeah, we will be able to move the armed forces out. The resistance to foreign occupation will slowly fall. Religious unrest is already at 3. That's not going to change drastically before the resistance to occupation changes. So I think we're fine moving this force out. Now, let's take a look here. The army I have here is 22. We're going to bring in another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That brings it up to 27. And how many more do we have here? Yeah, so we'll all be able to combine into one armed force once we move out of Greece, and then head north together. All right, I'll check my list, make sure I haven't overlooked anything I wanted to address. And actually, I've been debating this force in Berlin. If I want to move that and become active with this, or if I want to keep an army over on this side of my lands for something unexpected. And I'm kind of leaning towards leaving them in Berlin and starting another army here to help out in Sweden. I don't have the funds to do it this term, but I'm thinking coming up in Warsaw, coming up, and maybe with some extra support or recruiting help from Vilnius and Lithuania. Between these two territories, start recruiting another army. And then by the time the southern armies get north, or it'll end up being Southern Army, just because I'm going to have to keep, at least for the time being, a fairly decent sized force up here in Istanbul. This is the way it's feeling to me, at least until that the unrest at being conquered goes away. So we're going to take our next turn, and we will see you on the other side. This time Britain is looking for that military alliance, and they're willing to pay for it. Not much, but you know, we're going to decline yet again. Alright, we've recruited yet another rake in Brandenburg. I was hoping more for something along the lines of another gentleman, but we'll take them. And we finished Copper Bottoms, and that's kind of my tip-off that I think our college should be built, and we need to relocate that one. And workers have strike. Workers riot. So we did not get the order back under control there. Population killed 1564. Having felt moved to strike at the loss of their cultural identity. to that of their occupiers, the people of this region are now rioting in the streets. It is widely felt that their culture is becoming smothered, and unless the balance is restored, they will take matters further. Well, let's take a look over there. Holy smokes! Talk about rioting. They burned the city to the ground for all intents and purposes. Holy crap. We need to get some order back. What is it looking like? Okay, the order is back even without the buildings, but holy smokes, what a costly riot that was for us. Thank goodness our income is strong. Thank goodness our income is good at the moment. We're going to rebuild across the board. Let's take a look at our armies in here, make sure. I think it is re-recruiting. I don't see anybody. Yeah, everybody is re-recruiting, so there's nobody else to build up. We should be okay. It just cost us some unexpected dollars as we recover the buildings in Istanbul. That was crazy. That was heavy. Wow. I think now, though, we might be in position to move out of Athens. And yeah, the resistance to occupation is already crumbling a little. Let's see if we can afford to move the whole army out. And barely we can, and I'm confident that we can maintain order down here. We're going to do just that. I'm not going to upgrade the military buildings at this time. I will upgrade the vineyard. And let's combine our armies as we start to move north. And what's the best path I want to take? I imagine yep, we're gonna meet up over here. And we almost got ourselves a full force, full army. And let's just make sure there's no other replenishment we need. No, it's telling me that's not the case. So we gained an ancillary dusty librarian. So one of our individuals, in fact, speaking of that, we just completed this. So I'm going to move, well, Grape Shot is only 3 turns more. So we'll move this person back down here. And the question becomes, let's just make sure. Let's go find out. I can't remember. Coming yet? Where is that school? I absolutely do not remember where that one is. There, found it right away. What do you know? I guess I did sort of remember. Let's see about changing that back to philosophy. I wanted to look at the gentleman to make sure he had some, I think he had some perks. That's +2 to research, +2 to, that's industrial and military. So yeah, we might do better on military technologies, but we're going to convert this school back. And let's see, joint stock companies or separation of powers. We're going to go for the joint stock companies first. And there. Now we should have research happening in all the different categories. And that is a definite yes. In fact, what is holding us? Wealth of Nations needs to be completed before we can complete or improve in the metal industry. So let's just take over. Wealth of Nations right here. Yeah, so we're on the right track to move up in this direction. So we can continue research in other areas. So that we're on the right track right now. Construction report. Nation destroyed Portugal. It's no more. So apparently, I'm assuming, yep, Spain has conquered Portugal. And we have another new town. Let's go find out where this one has emerged in Hungary. Let's go take a look at Hungary real quick. Catholicism's pretty strong. my income's okay. You know, I want more missionaries. I haven't been. I've been getting plenty of rakes only by having a couple of the rake style buildings. I've been picking up rakes left and right, but I want to get some more missionaries to help with religious conversions, especially moving into Russia, Protestantism. Yeah, everywhere we're going to be attacking in the near future. Sweden, Russia, and converting what we already took over from the Ottomans. We need priests or missionaries to help us convert, along with yeah, let's get this up to a seminary. There we go. And we have another rake over here, and I'm not sure. I guess maybe we can send this rake, at least until we get on a ship to take him over there. We're gonna have this guy kind of keep his eyes on Great Britain over here as much as possible. And there you go. So I'm going to take a quick check. Our income at 19,704 is in decent shape. We still have funds left, and we're going to do just with those funds what I was talking about, and that is I can't quite upgrade the great arsenal yet. We're going to start the army recruitment for the extra army I feel we're going to need. Look at that, national cavalry. So we did not get the winged hussars quite yet. I think we may be one more military building away from getting our infamous winged hussars. So I'm feeling they're close. Now here we've got accuracy 30, range 700, but they're highly mobile as far as whether I want some 6-pounders, horse artillery, but I think we'll stay. Oh, we got some howitzers available now. As far as artillery, we may get a few of those going. The 12-pounders. So we may be in for and the accuracy of the 12-pounders. So we may start looking to convert some of our artillery here also. So for the new army, I'm going to start with 12-pounders, 3 of those, and what is the best? And we'll get a general's bodyguard going and recruit that into a general. And then over here in Lithuania, what are we able to build here? We'll just go with basic line infantry here to help support. And there's the beginnings of our newest army that we're going to have. I think what I'm going to do, let's see, Moldavia, let's see if we can convert I'll be able to get one territory converted first. So we'll start with Bulgaria, because if I can get that infrastructure converted first, that'll help our move north. And that was just a dirt road upgrade. So if I have any others with dirt roads, I'm going to upgrade those because I can afford to do more than one. There's another dirt road to upgrade. We're okay down here. Do I have any other? I don't think I've conquered any other territories that have dirt roads that need upgrading. So when in doubt, upgrade a mine. There we go. And then we'll finish with our rake moving to Moscow. And we have eyes on their capital. And our rake moving through northern Italy will now have eyes on some French territories at last. So he's going to keep his eyes on the French for us as much as possible. What I'm going to do is we're going to stop it here as we start our great migration north. Probably the way I'm looking now is we are going to probably see about taking out Courland. We're going to have to be aware that they have forces in our midst in the process of doing that. But I don't like the idea of bypassing them and then dealing with Sweden. We're going to see if we can take out Courland since, they're no longer a protectorate of ours, and proceed from there. If you have any other ideas or thoughts on how we should proceed next, other than the current plan you think would be better, let me know. I never mind hearing different ideas. And new town emerged. Sorry, missed one thing Oh, we got that going. I just didn't click off on it. So, hope you enjoyed today's mission. This is ZigZagZog signing off from somewhere in this world. We got the South solidified for the moment, and we're going to go to the great North now and see what we can accomplish up there. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.